Okay, so we're going to talk about real quick what happens when you have a misprint. But before that, I want to show you some details of a tank that's been used and what to look for when you might get these misprints. Okay, you can prevent it if you know ahead of time. Some of the tanks start to get worn out. Well, the first thing you see is this cloudiness. Do you see that? I don't know if it's hard. It's hard to see.
There you go.
On black. Oh, here we go. Do this. You see that cloudiness right there? Okay.
There we go.
Okay. So this is a good indicator that the tray is getting pretty worn. This doesn't mean that you can toss it out yet. What it means is that we need to move our appliances around on the platform when you're setting it up in the CAD software, in the printing software. Another thing to do when you have a mistake is to scrape, but we'll get to that. One more feature to note is that there is a resilient layer, okay? And as the tray gets older, it comes loose, and you can tell because you can see like bubbles in the edges. If you start seeing that, the tray is done. We have to throw it away and get a new one. So that'll see that bubble right there.
Mm-hmm.
That'll prevent you from having errors in your printing to begin with. Okay, so if you watch for that, you'll prevent that. Okay, but let's say that the worst happens and you get a misprint. So what's happened at that point is now you have a bunch of floaty bits inside your resin of the cast or the appliance or whatever it was you were trying to print. You have to clean it out. If it was your file that didn't print, you should be the one to clean it out. So this is what you do. Here's gather some of the items. I'm going to try and leave all this stuff in that drawer right there, okay, so that it's easy to find. I want you to note the particular spatula that we're going to use. There's two spatulas. One has an edge, okay, it's really sharp. Do not use this one to scrape the bottom of that, because the resilient layer you'll cut it, right? We reserve the really sharp one for the platforms on top, okay, when we're cleaning them. This one will stay in the washing area. Use the one that has a flat, it's flat, it's not sharp. So, I mean, it's got a little bit of sharpness, but it's not really, it's dull, okay? So this one's safe to use on the tray, and that resilient layer so you can scrape it. You won't cut the tray with this one. So, first thing you do is line up all the paper. It's really easy to get sticky stuff and resin everywhere. Get yourself a bottle of alcohol, some of that. These filters will be in here. And incidentally, if I'm not around, the best filter to use, this one, okay? This is, it's open cell foam, okay? It's used for the cheapy air conditioners that you buy at the store that you hang in your window. This stuff is like for 2 yards, it's like $3. So it's cheap, but it works really well. It's got 3-dimensional thickness, so whatever bits, it's not just going through one layer, it's going through multiple layers. So it works really well, and it's cheap. So take one of these rubber bands and a denture cup. Denture cup seems to be the perfect size to hold the volume that's in the tray. And you can toss it when you're done. I'm also pushing down a little bit to create a little bit of a well. Alright, now I'm going to get some gloves on. Also in this drawer, they get old, they get sticky, and then they don't fit, they don't open up. Okay, that's one. Okay. Now, you don't want to leave this open too long. First of all, here, let me show you this. Do you see how, as it got stuck, this arm flipped and it threw resin over the edge of the tray? Same thing happened on this side. So it's dangerous because you don't want your resin. Okay, so pull this forward. See how it engages? There's a little piece. Oh, you want to hold that. If you don't hold it and you pull the tray, this is going to go like that and come right at your face.
How do you
Okay.
pick that tray up?
So the tray is the same way. It has these little feet underneath it that clamp into there, and you push it forward. Right.
Okay.
But remember how I was saying, it's real easy to get resin. Where you don't want it for sure is on that mirror right there. That's critical. That mirror is the one that bounces the laser onto the tray. Okay? So, first thing we want to do is wipe down all of this area. Don't touch the mirror. We want to make sure we get anything that might have spilled over off of these edges. You want to clean the contacts. Be careful you don't pull those up. These metal pins right here, you don't want those to pull up. If you do pull those up accidentally, you could smash them. Then the printer will not recognize that the tray that you're using is the tray that you're using, and you'll get this error saying that that you need to put the correct tray in there. And even though the tray is still in there, it will not function. So I'm just wiping everything down. Don't go near the mirror. Anywhere you see resin might have gotten on the back of it. If you did get resin on the mirror, you're gonna have to grab a microfiber towel. We need to get a new batch because the ones we have are old. You squirt alcohol on the microfiber towel and you wipe until you don't see anything. You don't want to see smudges, you don't want to see lint, you don't want to see anything on that mirror. Okay, so we're good here. I'm going to close this. Incidentally, close this very slowly. Don't let it drop, because this happened to our printer here recently. This is the back corner of this cover. Incidentally, this cover is made out of the same material that you use for protecting your eyes, and the little covers that you use to protect light pure resin. This is that same material. So it's meant to keep the resin in that tray from polymerizing. Okay, so it's very important that it's not cracked or broken. We're gonna have to replace this or something. Back to this. So now we gotta clean this mess up. As you can see, we had a misprint. Take all the big chunks out. Don't feel anything else. There's some stuff stuck to the bottom. We're gonna have to take care of that as well. Take this off. Get another one. Another thing that's really important is not to get resin underneath on the glass down here. Okay, I'll flip that over as I pour it. You can see what I'm talking about. That glass is what holds the resilient layer, and also will basically has to be clear to do its thing. Okay, so on the paper, you can start pouring. I push down a little bit, kind of opens the cells up so that it can. You want to do it slowly so it doesn't go over the foam. of trash in here because it's moving very slowly. It's almost like porridge. No, never mind. You push too hard. I think we're gonna run out of filter before we get all this goop in there. Okay, we're gonna scrape the bottom of this. Oh, incidentally, there's that glass. You don't want to get resin on there or even your fingerprints. So it's got these little legs, these little edges that'll keep, you know, stuff like this from getting on the bottom of that tray. But be aware that that's made out of glass. So I go one way with it, and you can kind of see the footprint of the print that messed up, right? You can hear it even. So that has to be scraped up. You can push on it. It's gonna be hard. Just don't gouge it really, really deep. Be firm but gentle pressure. Go over the whole footprint of that resilient layer. And if you push too hard, you'll end up pulling it away from the glass prematurely. So be careful. You want a firm but gentle pressure. Now when you can go backwards like this and not feel any bumps, then you're good to go. Alright, so now I'm just going to dump the rest because I don't want to take any chances. Also, I'm holding it by the edges, both sides. See that glass? Keep your fingers off that glass. Let's see, I think we got some on the other side. So you want to clean these edges here too, right? And if you got any of this resin on the bottom of your glass, you want to make sure that that's clean as well. We just took away all of the gunk that was in here, all the leftovers. This is full of alcohol. Okay, what you want to especially be careful of is that it's off of those two little pin contacts right there. Otherwise your tray won't be recognized by the printer and you'll get these errors, and you'll call me at 10 o'clock at night and I'll be like, I'm not there, so I can't really help you. So watch that, okay? We're going to take out as much of this stuff as we can. We don't want even the lint from this paper towel in there. Yeah, it's tedious. So if you're thinking, gosh, Dewey, I don't want to have to go through all that trouble if my file messes up. One of the things you can do to make sure your file doesn't mess up is when you send it to your printer, make sure you get a blue check mark on your printability. You see that? I'm not liking that either. See how chunky that looks still? I think we're gonna have to filter this again. Alright, we'll just keep going for now. Just want to show you how it's done. See all them little bits, you gotta get those off too. If this seems like a lot of work right here for this part, you can throw this in the machine, the washer, for 30 minutes, and it usually does the job if you want to walk away and come back. Now, you can't leave this tray out for 30 minutes or the light will polymerize the resin, so keep that in mind. If you're going to step away, put that back in that machine and close that cover. Okay, now before I touch that glass or that plastic, I'm going to take these off and replace them. We've already cleaned the back, we've already cleaned the base. We're going to take this. You see those little notches? They're going to line up. See those? They're going to line up with these little feet. You let drop down and you push forward. Okay? Same thing with this guy. It's got a little foot that rests in this little engaging metal piece right here. Okay? That has to go in there. It'll sit in first. Wait, put some resin there. Okay, it'll sit in here. It'll go down. There. And then push forward. Okay? Now you're done. That's it. You can close this. And you're done. You're ready to print. Alright, so I'm going to show you what happens with a bad print. Nothing printed except the base. Sometimes even the bases don't print. Okay? You have to scrape this off of your platform as well. Don't leave this stuff laying about and waiting for the next resident who is probably in a hurry, just like you were, to find a mess where they can't use the machine. I cleaned this up. I ran it through the washer just so everyone can get a clear visual of what happens with a bad print. This is how we clean it. You take the sharp one that we had not used for the tray. We're going to use this on the platform. Okay. Now, you don't want to use it this way with the sharp edge down. This will gouge deep into the platform. You want to use it this way. I know it doesn't make much sense, but this actually will prevent it from gouging into the platform. Okay, so you want the sharp edge, you want to see that sharp edge, the shiny edge, you want to see it up. Okay, see a better shot there. Okay, so you're gonna take this little guy again with the sharp, shiny edge up. Okay, you're gonna place it against here at about a 30 to 45 degree angle, and then just gently go through. Doesn't take a lot of pressure to do this part. Okay, comes off fairly easily. That's it. Now, you also want to go over the entire surface in case there are any other little bits stuck somewhere else. I go in both directions. You see that? Turn it 90 degrees and do the whole platform from left to right. And then I do a check. And nothing feels like it's sticking proud on the surface, then you're good.